Very good morning to all my dear learners. This is the last session of this unit, unit number 10, doping and training in sports. So what do we need to do in this chapter? We need to be very, very enthusiastic, right? So this is the revision, okay? This is the revision part of this chapter, training and doping in sports. So what is the meaning of training a student? First we need to know. So training is yes, so simple. Training means use of creative mind, innovative ideas to enhance the performance. Training is basically a simple term, and training is giving theoretical as well as practical knowledge to an individual. The word training means to give practical as well as theoretical knowledge. If we talk training in terms of in terms of the physical education, and if we know the training in terms of what should I say is yes about the concept of training. So training is these are the various methods by which we enhance the performance. Okay, so training is, in other words, we can say these are the long term process which is based on the scientific and systematic way to enhance the sports performance, right? So training is the basic preparation for a sports person before the competitions. If we had a look upon this concept of training, right? So the concept of training means sports training is basically of three parts: preparatory part, competition part, and transition part. If you're going to throw a light on the preparatory part, so it's a basic kind of preparation which is divided into three parts. The very first thing is the preparatory part one, which is based on the development of basic and component, the basic component and the basic skills. The second part, which is based on the specific components and the advanced skills. Preparatory part is also third, which is based on the tactics and strategies development. All right. So the next thing that we need to keep in mind is the competition part. And what does competition part told us? Competition part told us about the practice matches with the correction in work, and practice part second, which told us about the actual matches with feedback and motivation. Transition part. So transition part is based on the off-season recreational play and off-season similar related games. So these are the three things which is under the sports training concept: preparatory part one, competition part, and the transition part. We also had three cycles here in this training. So if we design a training or a session for month, we called it macro cycle. So macro cycle means month workout plan for the training sessions, and meso cycle means week workout plan for the training sessions. If we talk about the micro cycle, so these are the day workout plan for the training session. So in a year, we must have macro plans, we must have meso plans, individual sessions, and microcycles plans. Then have a look upon the next things that these are the detail of the preparatory part and what are the principles of training. So the principle of training is regularity, principle of proper overloading, principle of specific training, principle of individual difference. We must understand the difference of individual because all are not same. Each and everyone has different kind of performance level. So principle of rest and recovery, proper warming up and proper limbing down, which is very important in a game. Principle of progression, how the progress is going on, safety and prevention, sometimes the psychological feedback, motivation, medical checkup. Adaptation and tolerance for a particular activity is also very important. Principle of load and adaptation, reversibility, how to how many repetition one should do. These are some things which play a very very important role in the life of a person. Let's come on a new topic called warming up. So, what is warming up? The general raise of the body temperature, which makes a person psychologically and physiologically apt to doing some set of exercise. So, basically, this warming up are the set of exercise, the movements which is performed before the competitions. If you can see this flow chart, it's help you to understand what is warming up exactly. So warming up, these are divided into two parts: mind related and body related. If it is mind related, basically, or it's so simple, if it is mind related, it is psychological warming up. And when it is physiological warming up, it means it is totally related with the body related movements. So physiological is body related and psychological means mind related. Later on, if you see physiological warming up, so it is based on two things: passive and active. Passive means it based on the external source, and active means these are the self movements. So active, it is of two types: general warming up and specific warming up. General warming up means common for all the activities, and active it means specific for the particular activity. So we sometimes we need specific exercise, specific warming up for some of the activities, so we must go through that. All right. So physiological, this warming up is of two types: psychological and physiological. Physiological is then psychological is divided into not at all any part. We have two parts of physiological: passive and active. Then active is further divided into general warming up and specific warming up. Now we have the, the various kind of exercise, like the toe touch, the alternate toe touch, walking lunges, jumping, hand rotation, shoulder rotation. These are some exercise which, and a normal jogging, so that the body temperature raises. Sometimes we require a specific warming up, like in basketball, we should have shuttle running, dribbling, shooting, basketball practice. Badminton, like toe shuttle, high lunges or low clears, smashing, dropping. In cricket, like dummy bowling, bat, and etc. These are some various things that one should have before any activity. So warming up is, yes, maybe general for all the activities, and sometimes it is specific for a specific game. Like hockey, stick rotation, dribbling, tapping, hitting, scoping. If you must have seen in tennis, service practice is very important. Knocking, passing, shoot, ball practice. These are some things which has really play a very important role. Now we need to see what is the importance of warming up in a life of a person. So yes, warming up, it prevent injury, it regulate your system, it maintain your energy, it will help you to give a better response, it improve your concentration, it brings perfection basically. It can increase your endurance level and all. So warming up is really very important, and warming up should be done before any game and activity. If you're going to think about the limbering down, so limbering down, which is also called cooling down, and these are the setup exercise which are performed after the competition or after any stressful activity, so that our body temperature comes at the normal. So we can go slow jogging, slow stretching activities, some deep breathing exercise, so that our body temperature become cool and slowly brought down to the normal level. If it's a post work students, and to lower the body temperature up to the normal level, it recovers the body from the stressful activity. Now we need to know what are the importance of limbering down. So it's so simple. If you go for the limbering down, the level of fatigue will decrease, your body get relaxed, there will be no pain, body back at to the normal temperature, and it prevent infection also. So it is very important. Now we need to know the terminology. So a skill, to perform a physical task is called a skill. Now when you perform the physical task with a scientific way, it's become technique. And when you perform this technique in a particular way during the game situation, it becomes style. And these specific movements, when you deceive the opponent, it becomes tactics. And strategies, which are the pre-planned movements to done to counter the opponent, is called strategies. The next part of this chapter, doping. So doping is the use of banned products in sports, and it is basically to enhance the performance of an individual. It's of three types. First is drug doping, second is gene doping, and third one is blood doping. What is the meaning of drugs doping? Drugs doping is related to the taking of drugs like stimulant, caffeine, narcotics, morphine, heroin, methadone, cocaine, growth hormone like peptide hormone, steroids like testosterone, estradiol, diuretics like aspirin, and all. If we're going to talk about the blood doping, so blood doping is related with the erythropoietin, which is also called EPO. RBCs, the administration of the RBCs previously harvested or at the same time harvesting. Gene doping, which is based on the genetic index, so it is the alteration, it's a non-therapeutic use of seal, genes, and the genetic modification in the person's DNA for enhancement in the sports performance. So we have the example of stimulants which have a effect on the cardiovascular system, narcotics which has an effect on our sleeping,